Well, here we are. What's going on, everybody? My name is Mike Brown, aka Review King MB, and you know what? I'm just going to add this to my 31 days of horror movie reviews. I am recording this earlier than usual, but after watching it, I don't really feel as compelled or enthused to post it earlier. And I just got done seeing it in theaters. By the time this comes out, who knows if it's even still in theaters. I'm talking about this movie called Him, a 2025 film. And I know the trailers, and whenever somebody brings up this movie to me, they all say, hey, you're going to go see that new Jordan Peele joint? And I'm like, oh, fuck. There are people who think that Jordan Peele directed this movie. I know the trailers and the posters have his name, so maybe it's not their fault. But this is produced by Jordan Peele, produced by his Monkey Paw Productions. He did not direct this film. I'm starting to think that Jordan Peele better be more careful with what movies he's willing to put his name on. If you're not willing to get more involved to make sure that the care and effort is being put into this film, if the movie is written well, then be careful, because your name's not going to matter whether you're directing or producing going forward. This is actually directed by Justin Tipping. And the plot is we follow this character, Cameron, who ever since he was young, kind of created from his father this love of football, wanting to be the best in football, wanting to get into the big leagues of football. And he's in his college year. He's pretty much on the precipice of getting into the NFL, I guess. I mean, I don't even know if they ever mentioned NFL by name. Did they not endorse this? Or maybe they did and I forgot. So as he's about to get there, this weird attack happens, so he's injured. So the only way that he can get fully in at this point, his only real option, is to go under the boot camp leadership of Marlon Wayne's character, Isaiah White, who's this player, like all-time legend, greatest of all-time quarterback. And over the course of this movie, you see that, man, it must take some fucked up shit and some fucked up things in order to get to the top of the profession. Now, I know you could probably tell from my demeanor right out the gate that I didn't care for this movie, that I didn't like this movie. It's probably painfully obvious and apparent. I do tend to wear my emotions on my chest. But I do want to start with the positives, because I don't think this movie is devoid of positivity. I don't think that this movie has nothing good to offer. First things first, Marlon Wayans is the best part of this movie. And I guess if I'm saying that, that must be some real shit, because, and I don't like to paint myself as like a Marlon Wayans hater. I don't hate Marlon Wayans. He can be funny, and I have found him funny, especially when I was younger. But there came a point where I just got sick of his type of comedy, got sick of his sameness in comedy, just yelling and screaming and carrying on. So to see him do something different, even the last couple of years, it feels like he's been doing more serious stuff. But with this, it's like, yeah, this is dark, this is intense, he himself is intense, and playing this guy that has been on top for so long, and the type of weight that puts on him, I think he does a great job of just being partially full of himself, but partially aware that his time is coming to an end, so he's trying to find his next recruit, the next person in line. And so you see that, is he actually trying to prepare this person for the role, or is he still a little butthurt and kind of like, I'm not ready to give this away? I think he does that very well. Also, I love the concept of this movie as far as, hey, we're going to examine football culture or sports culture in general. The whole term of him, I am him. You see that a lot in sports, of people who are at the top of their game saying that they are the one, they are him. Him means that they're the greatest currently going, and you see a lot of even fans using that term. And so I like that the movie at least try to examine what that means, what that word means, or what it currently has become to mean. I also like the aspects of the main character, Cameron, him sort of being in awe of like his idol, so he kind of just goes along with everything that's being presented in front of him, like the doctor who's there and just like, oh, are you in pain, do you have a headache, just take whatever he gives you. You don't even know what the doctor is giving you, what pills or what shots he's constantly shooting into him to make him feel better. A lot of that stuff is interesting because like that's probably very true to the lifestyle. Also, the cinematography and the editing, for the most part, is pretty good. It is visceral, it is intense, and it does try to effectively show what's on screen as far as the creepy stuff. However, hold on. Before I get to the bad, I should mention Tyreek Withers, who plays the main character, Cameron. I liked him enough. There were some moments where I didn't think he was, like, reacting in a real way. Like, there's one scene where there's this dude who volunteered himself to get hit in the face with footballs over and over and over again. And I guess that was to motivate him to do better throwing as the quarterback. But, like, the guy is completely bloody nose, eyes shut, and Cameron just looks at him and goes, "Are you good, man? Hey, you all right?" It's like, that guy's is probably dead. Concussion City, brain injuries, like, and he should be freaking out more at this, especially because this is fairly early on. Now, over the course of the movie, he probably starts to ask the right questions. And you know what? Julia Fox plays Marlon Wayne's wife, Elsie. I thought she was pretty good as well. Now the bad. The bad, I know I said a lot of things that sounded positive, and I do think that those particular things are positive. But what I found interesting about the story, about the script, was not what the focus of the movie was. It was there in the background. It was touched upon in like little tiny things, little tiny moments, but it wasn't what the movie was centered on, focused on. The movie spent the majority of its time just showing you random creepy shit, random things that half the time you can't tell, is it in the character's head or is it actually really happening? Oh, you have another character act like they don't know what's happening, but then later on say, oh yeah, that did happen. And then like, that's it. You know, it's like, so what's the point of any of this? If some characters are going to treat it like it's a big deal or treat it like it's just another day, I don't really get the point of a lot of this stuff. I'm talking about like random sicko fans who are dressed all weird and just being creepy just to be creepy. The one scene at the very beginning when like this fan runs up to Cameron for an autograph, but he's like covered in paint and just starts like yelling like a goat to him. And I'm like, what is this? You know, like I'm sure the writer and director think it's very symbolic and super deep, but it ain't that deep. Like, you can tell this story in a straightforward way to make it interesting on its own. You don't have to add all of this weird shit on top of it because maybe they themselves was bored directing it, so they just added all this weird imagery, all these weird masks, all these weird... And it struck me as odd. The very beginning of the movie, before Cameron even gets into contact with Marlon Wayans, he gets hit by a masked random attacker. And that's where the injury started. It's the injury to his head that potentially will make him not be able to make, you know, the tryouts. And he has to go with Marlon Wayans in order to get there. They never mention who that attacker is. They never mention why it happened. They never even mention that, oh, the police are looking into what happened, trying to find who it was. Cameron never addresses the fact that he was attacked and that the person could still be out there. It just happens, and then they move on. What? Like, why is that not a big fucking deal? Why is that not what probably the movie should actually be, is finding out whoever that is? And if you say that, oh, well, it's clear that that attack was tied into the very end of whatever weird shit was going on, fuck you. You didn't do a good job of establishing that through line of what happened to this kid was a big fucking deal. It was lazy. It was dumb. Like, right off from the get. I could see if the movie started off normal and then got weirder as the movie went on, or as he got closer to Marlon Wayans, then the weird shit happens. No, it's weird from the start. This movie didn't know what the fuck it was trying to say or what the fuck it was trying to do. And then the third act is where this movie falls off a cliff. It's like, maybe if the third act came together better, if the third act actually felt more well thought out and felt like it had something to say, maybe I could forgive a lot of these things that irked me all the way through. But the ending was just a bloody gore fest, and just like, okay, we don't know how to end this, so we're just gonna do this. And it felt like a big waste of time. It felt like, I haven't seen a movie this year with so much potential, wasted potential, turned into the slop that this ended up being. I'm sorry. You can't say I did not give this a chance. You can't say that, even despite the bad reviews that I had heard about before with this movie, I still was like, I want to see it myself because I thought that trailer looked super interesting. Nah, fuck this movie. This movie fucking sucks. And it's more annoying at how it could have been something cool and unique and great. And it dropped the ball hard, in my opinion. Let me know in the comments below if you saw him, and I doubt it because there wasn't one soul besides me in that theater watching the film. It clearly, nobody cares. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Later. Soul's taken over by a devilish path. You got me walking on broken glass, kicking down the door with a Jason mask, with a deck dome machete, but you motherfuckers know it's heavy. Anytime you're ready, you can get you with a Bowie, setting up to blow me, but the bitch don't know me. Who's going? I'm going. You know I know that.